Now that we have collected our digital marketplace strategy, we've developed the strategy, we've documented the information, we've looked through the Google Planner, found our keywords, found the cost in Google Ads, and we're ready just to look at this in a dashboard so that we can make some decisions. Now, for some of you, you may just be happy with just using the spreadsheet that we talked about in another video, and that's great too. We're going to use this information in this spreadsheet to kind of populate some of these fields, but I'm going to highlight just a few of these sections here so that you understand what this dashboard is and maybe what the purpose might be for you as well. So here this highlights two primary services that I offer, which is policy integrity, the creation, the analysis, creating ATOs, writing the controls, setting up continuous monitoring to manage all of that stuff is one business section, and then the other is a kind of an AI that does reading, rapid reading. So you can see here no bid win and a speed reader. Both of those are the primary sources of revenue for me. And then I break it down into these categories here. So you should do something similar, right? With your strategy, whatever that is, you need to really have an extremely clear, crystal clear idea as to what it is that you're selling and be able to focus your marketing and your messaging all around these specific things. So this dashboard for me works as my kind of go-to when I'm creating marketing material or videos or anything of the sort. I'm always focused on how does that activity, whether it's time, whether it's an investment of funds, how does it support my primary objectives here to making money for the company. And it's pretty simple, but that's kind of how I do it. And I do it based on these colors. So now this changes, right? Because these numbers here, for example, under ad cost, the CTR, CPC, the cost for the top location where it's very, very fluid, right? It's a search engine. It's constantly in the state of flux. But these are averages that we took and we explained here on this spreadsheet last time. These are averages from this spreadsheet. So we're able to take this information, average it for whatever technology it is, take an average cost of CPCs between all those, and that's the number that we see represented on this page here. Now, the reason why I put all this data in one place is, first of all, this defines the services as we already explained, but this is kind of that mission statement, right? That 10-second pitch. Well, what is it that you do? This is what we do, right? And so you see that on each one of them. So it's a great place to have it so that you're always coming back to it and you know exactly what your key message is. Of course, you can adjust it over the course of time, but when you adjust it, it should be in one consistent area. And then who is your audience, right? Who is purchasing this stuff? Right? The integrators, end users, partners, in this case, a cloud service provider because it's FedRAMP. So identify who those people are, because although not illustrated here on the dashboard, we're going to have to get great detail about these, right? So when you start developing your marketing and your push outward, right, and you start collecting and hunting, you're going to hunt in these areas and define landing pages just for these people so that you can move these products. Then you have here what your revenue is. So is this a high revenue, low, or moderate revenue source, right? And so you mark that. So high is green, low is red, and everything in between is orange. What is the sales cycle? So does it take a long time to do this sales cycle? So for example, CMMC, it's being marked as long because it's a brand new. It's only in draft right now. So it's a longer sales cycle. A shorter sales cycle here with 508. What development costs, if you have any or need, you would document that here. The advertising cost here, which is really Google, this is the Google Drive, not Google Drive, but Google Ads section here where we've talked about. So we document that here. And then here are some of those SEO keywords that we're using currently to support these areas. And these keywords become real important because every time you stand up a web page or a landing page or you send out a text message or a message, whatever it is, you want to start incorporating these keywords directly into that communication, whether you weave them into the communication or just put them at the bottom or what have you. It will increase the viability of your name coming up in Google searches for free, right? So you want to make sure you have these. And then these are location based, and the reason for location is that you don't want to spin your wheels somewhere where they're not buying, they're only looky-loos. So here, this is a pattern of these people in these states are actually looking for what it is that your key phrase is. So they're looking for HIPAA compliance or PHI or CCPA, what have you. So that's kind of how that whole dashboard works, and how I use it to make sure that I stay aligned with what's important from a time and a cost perspective. I use the colors here, which are important to me, because it's very easy for me to look and see which one's the best. I want the one with all greens, right? So then I'll take 2 greens and an orange, right? So I want to try to avoid a green, an orange, and a red, maybe something like this, right? So this kind of gives me, and there's other variables that go into the decision making, but this gives me a clear understanding of what it is that I should do with my time, how I should spend it, and where I'm going to make the most money as a result of spending that time.